mathematician. In today's math lesson, we are going to be representing decimals. Before we get started, we want to make sure that we have our materials ready. You'll need your math journal and a pencil today. So if you do not have that with you right now, you can pause the video and go get your materials. All right. Today, we are going to be determining the value of digits and decimals up to the 100th place and composing and decomposing decimals using expanded notation. I know that we've done expanded notation already in this unit with whole numbers. Today, we're going to be extending that to include decimals. So let's review what we have learned so far about decimals in this unit. Decimals are numbers less than one whole and are written using a decimal point. Here on our place value chart, we can see our decimal point separates our whole numbers from our decimal numbers. We have our ones, tens, hundreds, and you could extend that to show thousands, 10,000, 100,000s, millions, and so on to the left of the decimal. And then to the right of the decimal, we have our decimal values. We have the tenths place is the first place to the right, and then the next place, 2 places to the right of the decimal, is the hundredths place. We can see our values here at the bottom. We can see that the tenths place has a value of 1/10, and our hundredths place has a value of 1/100. Expanded notation of decimals is written and represented in the same way as expanded notation is written with whole numbers. Expanded notation is our number decomposed showing the digit times its value. So here we can see that we have a decimal number, 38 and 62 hundredths, and we can represent that number's value in expanded notation by starting with our tenths place. We have 3 in the tenths place, so we write 3 times the value of that place, which is 10, so 3 times 10. And then we have an 8 in the ones place, and then we have our decimal values. We have a 6 in the tenths place. So we have our decimal point, our decimal 0 and 1/10 to show that that 6 is in the tenths place. Then we have 2 times 1/100ths. We know that this is hundredths because it is 2 places to the right of the decimal. So we interpret expanded notation with decimals the same way that we do with whole numbers. So let's practice some. Taking a look here at our first problem, and you'll notice that I have my place value charts already set up and ready to go in my math journal. I set up my place value charts going to the left of the decimal, going up to the 10,000s place, because that's going to be the greatest value number that we have that we're going to be working with today. But when you are working with numbers, if you come across a number in the 100,000s place, you just add that in to your place value chart. You'll notice that I represented my decimal point in my place value chart, and then also my tenths and my hundredths. All right, and so let's take a look at our first question here. Maya bought a notebook for $12.47. The digit 7 in this number has a value of what? Well, first off, we notice that we see our number written in what type of form? Word form. Good job. And so we've got to figure out how to represent this in standard form and put it in our place value chart, because our strategy says draw a place value chart and plug in our digits. So taking a look here at our first part of our number, it says $12. So we have 12 that we need to place on our place value chart. So where would the digits 1 and 2 go on our place value chart for the number 12? Well, 12 has 1 10 and 2 ones. So that's how I would represent that part of our number. And then we see the word and. We've learned in our decimal unit that the word and has a very special meaning when in numbers. What does and mean for us in this number? Decimal point, way to go. When we hear the word and, that means decimal point. So we're going to place our decimal point in our number. And then it says 47 cents. Well, we don't hear a decimal amount like tenths or hundredths, but we do hear cents. And so we have to think in money terms. Well, we know that 47 cents would be written 47 hundredths. So now we have our number written on our place value chart. And so we're ready to take a look at our answer choices and see what matches. Well, if we look at our strategy, it wants us to write the values of what we have in expanded notation so that we can match it to the correct value. So looking here at our tens place, we have a 1 in the tens place. So let's remember how to write that in expanded notation. We have our parentheses, 1 in the tens place. 1 times 10. Well, now let's do our digit 2. It's in the ones place. So parentheses, we have a 2 in the ones place. Now let's do our decimal values. We have a 4 in the tenths place. So 4 in the tens place. So we have a 0, a decimal point in the tens place is 1 place to the right. So 4 in the tenths place. And then last, a 7 in the hundredths place. So 7 in the hundredths place. Yes, 0 decimal point 0 1 because our hundredth place is 2 places to the right of the decimal. So now we have our values written out in expanded notation. And now let's see if we can find the 7. It wants the digit 7 in this number has a value of what? Well, here's the 7. And we just said that it has a value of 7 times 100ths. So let's see. Can you tell what answer choice that would be? 7 times 100th? D. Awesome job, mathematicians. Way to go. All right, easy peasy. Let's look at our next question. Looking here at our next question, it says a factory produced 84,206 and 35 hundredths boxes of cereal last year. How is this number written in expanded notation? So taking a look at our question and our strategy, we need a place value chart because we're working with a number, and we need to plug in our digits for this number. So let's come over to our place value chart and plug in our number. 84,000. So we're coming up to the 10,000s place here. 84,000, don't forget your comma, 206, and need our decimal point, 35 hundredths. So now we've represented our number, and we're going to use this to process through our answer choices here. We're going to use little checks and little X's to help us analyze our answer choices. So let me get out my pen so we can do that. All right. So taking a look at A starts with 8 in the 10,000s place. Do we have a match? We do, 8 in the 10,000s place, so it gets a little check. What about 4 in the thousands place? 4 in the thousands, check. 2 in the hundreds? Yep. 6 in the tens place. Here's the tens place. What do we have in the tens place? Ooh, 0, not a 6. So that just messed up A. So bye-bye A. It's got to be all little checks. Let's look at B. 8 in the 10,000s. Yep, we already checked that out. 4 in the thousands. Yep. 2 in the hundreds. Yep. 6 in the ones. Let's see. 6 in the ones. Yep, that's correct. Now to our decimal values. 3 in the tenths place. Do we have a 3 in the tenths place? We do. 5 in the hundredths place. 2 places to the right of the decimal. Do we have a 5 in the hundredths? We do. All right. So we got all little checks for B, but are we going to stop there? No, a mathematician does not stop. A mathematician looks at everything because we could have made a mistake. So let's try C. 8 in the thousands. 8 in the thousands. Well, here's the thousands place. Do we have an 8 there? Nope. So that messes up C right off the bat. Can't be C. Let's look at D. 8 in the 10,000s? Yep. 4 in the thousands? Yep. 2 in the tens. Oh, if we go to our tens, there's a 0 there, not a 2. So that messes up D. So B is the correct answer. And sorry, I can't quite circle it because my pen's in the way. There we go. So B, excellent job. And so plugging in our digits on our place value chart and using our little checks and our little X's helped us process through this question and get it correct. All right, let's practice one more question together. Here, this question says, the list below shows 3 clues about a number. The digit 6 has a value of 6 times 1,000. The digit 4 has a value of 4 times 1/10. The digit 9 has a value of 9 times 100. Which number below best fits these clues? Well, we know we're working with a number, so we need another place value chart. Let me see. Maybe I can put him on top. Hold on. Sorry. I want y'all to be able to see the bottom of my place value chart. Having to readjust things here. There. Now we can see the bottom one. Okay, so taking a look at our first answer choice. We have the number 6,409 and 4/10. Let's place him on our place value chart so we can see what his values are. So we have 6,409 and 4/10. And then B, the number is 9,642 and 400ths. C is 6,942 and 4/800ths. And then D is bigger. D is 46,909 and 400ths. Our numbers are all kind of similar. They all utilize similar digits. And so that's why putting them on our place value chart is going to be helpful. So now we need to take a look at our clues and see which one of the numbers we placed on our place value chart matches these clues. So our number has to have a 6 in the thousands place. 6 in the thousands place. So if we come over here to the thousands place, He has a 6. That's good. That's what we need. Does this number, does B have a 6 in the thousands place? It doesn't. So that right there ruins B. We can get rid of B. Okay, this has a 6 in the thousands and this one. Okay, so we're done with our first clue. We've completed it. Let's look at our second clue. The digit 4 has a value of 4 in the tenths place. That's one place to the right of the decimal. So tenths place right here. And it needs to have a 4. This one does have a 4. This one has a 4. Ooh, but does this number have a 4? Nope. So that gets rid of D. So we're down to 2. Let's look at our last clue. The digit 9 has a value of 9 in the hundreds. 9 in the hundreds. So coming to our hundreds here, which one has a 9? Does this one have a 9? Nope. Bye-bye A. Does that one have a 9? It does. So it has the correct digits in the right place to match our clues. So C was the correct answer. Excellent job. All right, mathematicians, well, let's review the strategies that we used today. We used our place value chart. We plugged in the numbers that we were working with. And then we also used, on this question, if we had a lot to process through, we used our little checks and our little X's. So thank you so much for working with me today. And now you'll complete the rest of the activities in this lesson module. And don't forget to utilize your strategies in your math journal. Have a great day.